Hello students, today we will study the concept keys. This is very interesting concept in DBMS because every table that we are studying, that is database, is recognized with the help of this thing, keys. So, keys are used to establish and identify relation between tables. Each record within a table can be uniquely identified by a combination of one or more fields in a table. It helps to enforce integrity and identify relationship that exist in the table. So these are different types of keys. First is super key. Second is candidate key. Third is primary key. Fourth is foreign key. Then secondary or alternate key. Then comes simple key and then composite. So now here we will discuss about these types. The first is super key, which is combination of more than one key. So it is combination of fields within a table that uniquely identifies each record within that table. It is superset of candidate. Now what is candidate key? It is a subset of super key. So super key is always super. That is bigger. The small portion of super key is candidate key. Okay, so the candidate key is a single field or at least combination of fields that uniquely identifies each record. This line you can highlight, that uniquely identify each record. If this term key has been awarded to some column name, then it must be identifying uniquely each record in the table. So that key should be able to identify. Now we have studied super key, and now super key is the combination of all those keys that are able to identify the record uniquely. So now we are studying candidate key, which is a subset of super key, and it can uniquely identify each record in the table. The least combination of field distinguishes a candidate key from a super key, that is minimal set of super key. Every table must have at least one candidate key, but at the same time can have several. Here we have the example: student ID, then first name plus last name. Okay, so suppose we have various classes and that IDs can be common, and we are thinking that only student ID is not able to distinguish those students. Then we are attempting to take another combination in the candidate keys. That first one is student ID and the other one is first name and last name combinedly. So these particularly combinedly can make the other uh, fields of the table distinguished from the other records. So there are some criteria that should be there for a candidate key to be eligible. So it must contain unique values, it must not contain null values, it should contain minimum number of fields to ensure uniqueness, must uniquely identify each record in a table. So once our candidate key have been identified, we can now select our one to be our primary key, because one of the candidate key is primary key. Here we are studying primary key. It is a candidate key that is most appropriate to be the main reference key for the table. It is primary key for reference for the table. It is used throughout the database to help establish relationship with other tables. So other keys are basically not very much important, but you have to concentrate on this key only. Not only, but very important key is primary key when we are relating all the database together. Okay, for every table we need to um, make a primary key. Without primary key, we cannot even distinguish the records, or our table is basically meaningless. Okay, so a primary key is very important key, and it should be highlighted, it should be made when we make a table. Here we can see there is a table having 4 columns or attributes, and having 6 rows in this. And primary key we make by seeing that something can be very unique. See, here we are seeing that unique ID, student ID, it's looking very unique. It cannot be repeated. Something, if you see here, this first name Jim, it is being repeated. Okay, uh, no worries, the last name is different, but first name is same, so we cannot make first name as primary key. So if we see last name something McLeod and McLeod, it's being repeated, so we also cannot make last name as primary key. And course ID, so it will be repeated because more than one students can take the same course. Okay, so only student ID has the capability or eligibility to make a primary key. So this way you can see this underline here. This is done when we are making some ID as some attribute as primary key. So this is the way of declaring, this is the way of convention for primary keys. When we are making this line, this is known as declaring primary key. Okay, if this is for your showing purpose, but this is not important. If a table is made here and this attribute is lined like this, underlined like this, you have to understand that this is the primary key. So enough. Now primary key must contain unique values, it must never be null, and it should uniquely identify each record in the table. You have to remember this every time because primary key is very important part of the DBMS structure. Okay. Then primary keys are mandatory for every table. Each record must have a value for its primary key. When choosing a primary key from the pool of candidate keys, always choose a single simple key over a composite key. Okay, these two keys we will study later. Then comes foreign key. Foreign key is a column that references a column of a table, and it can be same also. Foreign key is generally a unique key from one table that appears as a field in another where the first table has a relationship to the second. In other words, if we had a table A with a unique key X that linked to a table B where X was a field in B, then X would be a foreign key in B. Okay, no worries if you could not understand. I can make you understand by this field, by these tables. So we have this child table. Okay, okay, and then we have here parent table. Okay, so here you have student ID, first name, last name, and course ID. Okay, so if we have we don't have this course ID here. Suppose we don't have this course ID here. We have this student ID, first name, last name, and various other attributes of the students like date of birth, age, etc., etc. So what will happen here if we have here only course ID and course name? How will we relate this to this table? That which student took which course? Then what is the meaning of keeping this table at the first place? So what we do is to store this value in this table so that this will be referencing this. And finally, in this table, when we are storing the course ID, this will show all the details of the particular students. For example, if we are seeking details for James Harradine, then we can easily distinguish his student ID, his first name, last name, and various other fields which are if in this table. So we can relate that a student of roll number this has taken the course number A004. So this way, course ID is referring in this table. So here it is acting as primary key because it is the main primary, just first key here. Okay, and this primary key is referring another key here in this table, other table. So this table, it is referring other details. So you are understanding now why we have taken this course ID here, because we are making relationship between two tables. If you think without this there can be a relation, so if you are wrong. Okay, because without defining this course ID here, we cannot tell which student ID is corresponding to which course ID. Okay, because every student has taken different course. Okay, these courses are different, so we cannot tell which student has taken which course. So for confirming that, for making a relation between them, which and when and everything, so for that we need this primary key and foreign key combination. Okay, here this acts as primary key and here it acts as foreign key. So now you understand why it is same ID is here referred to as primary key, and why the same thing, same key is referred to here as foreign key, because this is particularly from this table only. Course details are in this table, and in this table we have student details, not course details. We have only course ID. If you are aware of odd one out, you can easily tell that this course ID doesn't belong to this table. Why it is kept here? The question rises. Why it is kept here? Because it doesn't belong to this table. So the answer is that we are defining relationship between this course ID and this course and student table. Okay, these two tables are defined on the basis of this relationship, because we are defining this course ID in this student table. So we have to remember, parent must be unique or primary key. Child may have duplicate or null unless it is specified. Constraint specified on child, not on parent. Okay, on parent table, constraints are not specified. Parent record can delete only if no child record exists. Parent cannot modify if child record exists. Secondary or alternate key, a table may have one or more choices for the primary key. Collectively, these are known as candidate key. So if there are more choices for the primary key, then these are the candidate keys. Why they are known as candidate? Because they have to struggle for the election of primary key. So these are candidates basically. Okay, वो सारे के सारे एक पोस्ट के लिए लड़ रहे हैं और वो पोस्ट है प्राइमरी की. So that's why they are known as candidate keys. One is selected as the primary key. Those not selected are known as secondary keys or alternative keys. Simple key is it consists of a single field to uniquely identify a record. In addition, the field is in itself cannot be broken down into other fields. मतलब the atomic value, single field. Then comes composite key. Composite means when it is consisting of more than one value or one key value. One field to uniquely identify a record. This differs from a compound key in that one or more of the attribute which make up the keys are not simple keys in their own right.